hey. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. What's up, y'all? Monday, April 4th, 2022. You know what it is. First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich. Get on up and move your body. Certainly feeling like a Monday today. Monday, April 4th, 2022. First Sky Omaha Radio.
Nature's God. Nature's God. This song
What's up? What's up? What's up?
is dedicated to
Hey, hey, hey.
Nature's God.
Good morning. Pops gives us a good morning. Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich, and the First Sky fam. Is it Monday again?
Already.
Nature's God.
Feeling like a Monday today, too.
Nature's God.
A little bit.
Big time, big time.
Nature's God. Nature's God.
Welcome. Once again, fresh edition of First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich.
Yeah.
All of you, the chat chimers, trickling on in.
Real chatty. Real chimey.
Real chatty, real chimey. What's up, y'all? Good morning. How was your weekend? And how you doing this morning? That's the question.
Yeah. Let us know. What'd you get into? Did you make it to any of the haps?
Yeah,
Over the
that's a good
weekend?
question.
Let us
Checking in
know.
on
Let us
that.
know. Yeah. Ron's
Yeah.
review drops in. Says top of the day to you. Top of the day, brother.
What's happening, man? Live from the YouTube channel. Really appreciate that. If you're on YouTube, give us a like and share. All that
Please
good stuff.
do.
We're also going live on Twitter right now. And just a quick reminder, if you are on Facebook, please share the show on your page so we can get as many people going as we can. But once again, man, welcome. Feeling like a Monday in a big way. April 4th, 2022. Assalamu alaikum, family.
Yeah, alaikum salam.
Brother Muhammad in the house. Wanda Lewis in the house with a good morning. Good morning to you as well. Yeah, man. How y'all feeling? I'm feeling very Monday-y today.
Yeah, Monday.
How you feeling, buddy?
Man, feeling not really. I'm feeling a little drained from the weekend, to be honest. But I think it's the fact that I'm observing Ramadan and just going through the toil of Ramadan.
Okay. Well, let us know what some of the toil is for those of us who don't know too much of the details.
Oh yeah, for sure. Ramadan is a practice that's observed in the Islamic faith. And again, as I shared in previous episodes, I recently joined a Moorish Science Temple of America that's located down here in Atlanta, and which is an Islamic religious organization, religious and civic organization. So yeah, I'm as a member, and I'm practicing Ramadan, which is basically a month, the month of April. You abstain or fast from food and drink from sun up to sundown.
Okay.
Yeah, and this is all just a kind of spiritual cleansing. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think the concept of fasting is too foreign, anymore. You got OMAD and all these different diets and things like that.
Yeah.
So the benefits of fasting are widely accepted and understood.
So you started that this weekend then?
Yeah, it started the beginning of April.
Oh, yeah.
And so I just been working my way through it, just fighting throughout the day, fighting the hunger and
Fighting them snacks.
Man, fighting them snacks. More so actually the urge to drink water.
Yeah.
And it's something I didn't really expect. I definitely thought I'll be thinking about food more, but it definitely seems like the urge to drink water is a thought that I fight off more. But that's the whole point. That's the whole point. When you're not thinking about what am I about to eat next, you kind of free up some space in your mind and you can observe your thoughts. It's a good time to meditate. I mean, I've been getting a little more done, productive wise.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
cleaning the house. Been getting a lot more sleep in. Just trying to keep
Yeah.
myself busy, to not think about eating or drinking. You know.
Yeah, yeah, I'm with that. I think there's definitely some logic, some value behind that in a big way. We shouldn't be worried about what we're gonna eat, what we're gonna drink all the time. So we can have higher thoughts. I'm
Yeah.
definitely with that.
And it's good to give your organs a break. You know.
Give your organs a break. I like that.
Man,
I need to give my liver a break. I know that much.
man. See?
Good morning to Lucia Rodriguez gives us a good morning. Good morning to you. Thanks for joining us. Vicky Young gives us a good morning with some sunshine. Stacy Jean says good morning, first Sky Omaha family and friends. Josh Tay gives us a good morning, and TD Sanders gives us a good morning. She says, "My pardon, please. Can I get another invitation?" You have a standing invitation here, Miss Sanders. So anytime that you are free, because I know that you are very, very busy. Anytime that you are free, I'll, as a matter of fact, I'll just send you another invite, and we'll definitely have you back on. So yeah, no worries at all on that. And I would love to have you. Mark Manor gives us a good morning. What's going on, my brother? What's happening? And Kimra Snipes gives us a good morning, y'all.
Put some respect on her name.
Yes, man. Thank you for everybody that's getting up so early right now and joining us early. Lots to talk about today. We had big headlines today. It's going down. Plus, we have a couple special guests coming in today as well. We got Chris Bowling from the Reader that's going to come in and talk about some things, and Matt Wynn from Flatwater Free Press is coming in to talk a little bit more about what was behind that article, that parole article, what happened to the reporters and everything else that went down. So, looking forward to that. Stay tuned for that. Like I said, tell a friend. If you're on Facebook, share the show. Really appreciate it if you did that for us. And,
for sure.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. And again, everyone,
started.
Let's get it started. And again, everyone joining. Happy Monday. Let us know what you did over the weekend. Did you get into any of the haps? See Leia Keister coming in. Good morning. Top of the morning to you.
Good morning.
Yeah. Well, what's up with you, Paul? How you doing? How was your weekend? I know you was asking about the Grammys.
Yeah, man. Anybody see the Grammys? Because everybody I talked to, I'm asked, did you watch the Grammys? It's like, nah, no, we didn't watch it.
I think everybody's kind of after what happened at the Oscars. Everybody's like, I
thought that would mean they would watch. They'd be having some more eyes on.
What's gonna happen next?
Who gonna slap who at the Grammys? We'll see. Pop says, I felt supremely powerful after fasting 24 hours a day for 3 days.
I'm saying,
me too. That's a thing that we got introduced in our family years back. Just from we got holistic doctors and stuff in our family. So I've fasted for 3 days, fasted for 7 days once. So yeah, and periodically, man, anytime I need a real shift and a real thing, something to change within my own head, you start off with a fast, and that's a good way to start it off. So yeah, I definitely see the wisdom in it.
Oh yeah, I mean you are what you eat, man. So you kind of cleanse out some of this, steak and cheese and all this gunk we be eating, man. And really kind of again cleanse the body, cleanse the mind, cleanse the soul, and hit that restart button.
There you go.
Yeah. But as far as the Grammys, man, what'd you think?
I didn't watch it.
I thought you did. You asking?
That's why I'm asking who did. I don't know. Miss Erica Feld just says I saw the second half just in time to see Family Affair win. So
okay. Did anybody see this Virginian Jamaican band win?
So apparently, the best Jamaican song or whatever
album
was won by some white boys in Virginia. So
called the Soldier of Jah Army.
Say it again.
Soldier of Jah Army. That's the name of the band. And it's funny because when you look at their speech, they kind of look surprised. I'll be honest, they did look a little surprised that they won, and it was just like at least they acknowledged that they weren't from Jamaica, and they gave a shout out to Jamaica, but it was still kind of cringy.
Mark Matter says I watched 3 hours of the daytime Grammys, which is like watching the Grammys in the 80s. Lots of jazz, classical, and world music, hosted by LeVar Burton. What?
Oh,
I would have watched that one. I know that. I didn't even know that existed. That's what's up.
That's the one.
He says Soldier won. They play Omaha all the time. The jam band kids love them. That's interesting.
I can see them getting down in Omaha.
I was just telling Buddy, I was like, living in Hawaii for 9 years, man. I was so bombarded with white boy reggae bands that I'm just not about. I'm like, man,
Island Boy.
Island Boys. One thing I did see, I saw the highlights of Silk Sonic winning a bunch of stuff, and I think Bruno or one of them went up there and was like, "We're trying real hard to be humble at this point." He said, "But where I'm from, that's called a clean sweep." I was like, "It's crazy." And the way that NPR described them, they said they kind of floated up to the stage in slow motion every time they won an award. They won like 4 or 5 awards.
I mean, it's Silk Sonic. You got to float the stage.
It was clowning. Pop says, I wanted to see Silk Sonic, but the soundtracking was so bad on Paramount that I couldn't take it. Wow. Man, that's messed up. Anyway, the hair swings. Silky. Okay, that's what's up, Ms. Erica Felt. I definitely want to go back and watch that because they've been one of the most entertaining things that's happened in music for the last few years. So
Silk Sonic,
Anderson .Paak is the new funk all the way,
man,
and Bruno Mars has always been super talented. So that's what's up. Anyway, yeah, I didn't mean to go. Nobody even hardly watched the Grammy, so we definitely wasn't going to talk about that too much today.
Nah. I thought you at least watched it though. Surprised that you
didn't. I didn't even know it came on, bro. I heard about the recap on NPR this morning.
Oh dang. Yeah, it was definitely last minute for me. But hey, it is what it is. There were some people nominated. I think Nas was nominated for his new album, which I've been meaning to ask you about. I don't know if you heard his new album.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Hot.
But with Nas, man. Nas is dope.
Hot. Yeah. Nas and Hit Boy on to something.
Yep. And John Baptiste won Best Album, which he was surprised about too. Or was it Best Album? One of those. Best New Artist, Best Album, something.
Yeah, I kind of like some of his music.
Something huge.
Stacey Jean says, I saw Nas perform and that was it. Okay.
Oh, man. What's up?
So it seems like some of y'all did watch it. Have to go check it out.
It's pieces, pieces.
Yeah.
YouTube clips and stuff like that, I'm sure.
Catch it while you're cooking a little bit. But yeah, anything else you get into over the weekend, let us know. Let us know what happened. Did you catch any of the haps? Did any of you make it to the Indian fried bread feast over the weekend?
I don't even talk about it, bro.
Paul.
Can't even talk about it, man.
Yeah, man. So let us know. Let us know. Jump into the chat. Also, let us know what you think about the topics. Of course, we do have several things to talk about today, and we're here for the next 2 hours. So let's go ahead and tee that up. Big shout out to all the chat chimers and all the friends of First Sky continuing to drop stories and bring things to our attention on the Friends of First Sky group page on Facebook. I believe this was Brother Anwar Valentine, if I'm not mistaken. I might be mistaken, but one of the chat chimers shared this story about OPS students misconduct coming a problem. Apparently not just the story kind of centers around Central High School, but it apparently is an issue across the entire district and several other schools across the country. And it's all been sparked by the COVID-19 pandemic and the fact that a lot of students are just dealing with the change in the social dynamics in all their own ways. So we'll dive into exactly what's going on in our schools here coming up, especially with a couple chat chimers running for school board. I would love to hear y'all thoughts specifically on what you how you would approach this or just what you think about this news. And then also as Paul mentioned, we'll be having Chris Bowling coming on, giving us some housing information. Again, he is continuing his disinvested. The Reader is continuing their disinvested project, in which Chris has the housing aspect of that project, looking at again affordable housing. But this time, he's actually coming back with an article looking at the landlord side of things and how codes are governed and what happens, to some of these slumlords. How do we get to a Yale Park type situation? So we'll be talking about that. And then also, as Paul mentioned, Matt Hansen, or is it Matt Hansen or Matt Wynn?
Matt Wynn will be here.
Wrong Matt. So Matt Wynn, Flatwater Free Press, will be in to talk about again the report, the behind the scenes situation that happened at the prison. Again, as their journalists went to get the scoop on the parole board. So we'll talk about that. And also some positive things. Finally, some movement and some of the things that we're talking about as far as the fight for minimum wage and competitive wages in the work environment. This actually story coming out of New York. A worker, actually a fired worker, 3 years after being fired, finally getting a victory and creating a union in Staten Island, New York. So we'll talk about that. And then Habitat for Humanity doing some big things in the area of housing. So yeah, we'll talk about all of that and more throughout the show. Of course, if there's anything on your hearts or your minds, feel free to let us know, man. First Sky Omaha in the morning, Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich. Let's go.
Let's do it. Morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Once again, you're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich, Mr. Q. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich.
Hey.
All of you, the chat chimers, we got a good morning from Brianna Full. Good morning with some sunshine. Appreciate that. Also, let's see. Let me get down here. Stacey Jean says, I saw the Nas performance. We said that already. Christy Nor hooked me up with the delivery of Indian tacos. I didn't know there was some delivery going on.
See, Paul?
Man, Miss Erica Felt, you got to let me know what went down, man. We had a little emergency at work. I couldn't make it over, and I'm upset. That's the second time I missed them Indian tacos, bro. Judy Printer says, saw Haydenstown. Phenomenal. Also miss Haydenstown. I was supposed to go to that as well. Missed that show. So thanks for checking that out and supporting our partners over there at Omaha Performing Arts. They get down, and that was another thing that I had to miss over work. So not happy about that, but that's what's up. Judy Prinzer out there representing for First Sky. Appreciate it. Wanda Lewis says, I heard they sold out and some people came through from First Sky. That's what's up.
Okay.
Hey, I'm glad somebody came through.
Man,
I'm still upset that there wasn't I didn't know about no delivery situations, but we'll talk about that later. Brooke Allen gives us a good morning. What's happening, Brooke? What's going down?
Brooke and the dude.
Brooke and the dude. That's right. So welcome everybody. And once again, if you're over on YouTube, please give us a like and share. We're trying to build up the attendance over there because we're working with that algorithm. Also, if you're over here at Facebook with us, then please share the show on your page. That always helps to get the word out, get people going. So appreciate you doing that. And in the meantime, feeling like a Monday. It is Monday the 4th, 4/4/22. So tell us how your weekend went. Tell us how if you're feeling like you got a case of the Mondays this morning, help us snap out of it. Basically, is what we're talking about. Yeah. So anyway, in the meantime, tweeting time, yeah.
We're ready to dive into it because we got the full panel here. Now, I wanted to dive into this story before they went on about their days or whatever they had going on, talking about this Omaha public school article.
Yes.
And the full panel, I'm calling y'all's out. Camera, I see you in here, Miss Snipes. Also, again, Brianna Fool and Brother Muhammad, who are both running for the school board. I would love to hear from all three of you on this article. But to bring everybody up to speed, if you haven't heard about it, this is quite a. I was clutching my pearls, kind of reading this article as far as what's going. Man, oh my goodness, indeed. As far as the state of our schools and what's going on with our students. This is an Omaha World Herald report, which again centers around Central High School, where some students are saying that kids are out of control. This says we needed it because kids were out of control. This is Dina Salzman, who's a senior, at Central, in reference to a new system called Eagle Bucks, which is being used at Central High School, which is a fake currency that is used to teach and encourage positive behavior. The bucks are given for certain acts, and then that can be used in turn for things like candy, chips, and other snacks and things like that. But this isn't This isn't a laughing matter, though. This situation is getting out of hand, apparently, at schools across the district. Some students are showing up to school but never attend class. Hallways and bathrooms smell like marijuana as smoke sets off fire alarms, and blunts are smoked in the bathroom, according to the article. And also, teachers have been injured while breaking up fights between students. That's according to 9 students and 9 current former OPS staff members. And all of them say that the pandemic is sort of the catalyst for this change in the school environment. Of course, students have always had behavior issues, and children will be children, and these types of things, fighting and these types of things will happen. But again, it does seem like it's getting higher, and the pandemic is at the center of that. Some of the OPS employees spoke on the condition they not be named because they have not been authorized by the district to speak publicly, but they say that the exacerbated behavioral problems are not unique to OPS. Actually, according to the article, some schools in Connecticut also are having this issues. Actually, one school had to transition to remote learning full-time due to misbehavior. Last month, teachers in school in Minneapolis also reported similar issues, including more fights and drug use, as well as more kids with anxiety and depression. And again, the lack in social continuity, if you will, created by COVID-19 is causing a lot of this. For instance, one student at Central says, I feel bad for them, but then they are also treating it like elementary school. Sometimes there are kids running through the hallways without shoes on, and I'm like, what is happening? And part of that is the gaps in years. Understand that a lot of the seniors in high school right now, the last time that they had a full high school year with full social interaction was their freshman year. So all the emotional development, all of the growth, all of the, the teen angst and things we go through in our teenage years, they're missing a large chunk of that because they're not socializing, and they're not in that environment. And then also a lot of the freshmen that's in high school now, the last time they were in school, they were in the 6th grade. So of course they're kind of treating it like elementary school. So you kind of see that. And then of course, just go ahead.
I was just thinking, who knew that you learn how to put your shoes on in the hallway during your junior high school year?
man. But more seriously, not just the lack of socializing and the change in the social environment from the pandemic, but also how the pandemic has impacted the home life. Of course, watching teachers who have been overwhelmed cry during remote learning sessions, watching their parents lose their jobs, losing loved ones to COVID-19. All of this is kind of coming together. And then add on top of that, students don't have their friend circles and their social environments to kind of lean on and talk to. It leads to this.
There you go. Lots of chats, lots of chiming up in the chat on this one. Kimmer Snipe says, I saw the article come out, but haven't read it yet. I still need to read the Reader article, but I do know this is the nationwide and not limited to Omaha. Very true. Rome's Review says, I blazed plenty in school back in the late 80s. Yeah, he said, where was his other, he was representing this year. I can't find
Omaha South
class of 91.
There you go.
That's what's up. Also, Wanda Lewis said high school has outgrown chips and candy. They're going to have to raise the bar.
I was kind of thinking that.
That's real, bro.
Kids gonna need to be able to buy like some headphones, some Beats headphones, or iPad or something. Chips and candy.
I was watching The Shy. I was like, the candy game still going on?
Man.
Kieran Snipes says, one of the conversations we've been having at the Alliance is how we, as neighborhood leaders, can be more of a support to our kids and the schools. We have to figure this out together, but mental health is real, y'all. That's what's up. Also, Brianna Full says these issues are happening now. Brianna Full, if you guys don't remember, is running for school board. Full for OPS. Definitely check her out. These issues are happening across all school districts, not just OPS. The article frames OPS as bad kids. I wish the author would have interviewed other districts to get the full story. I like that comment a lot. And I like the fact that before you started reading, you was like, this is from the Omaha World Herald. A lot of you guys know that we read stuff from the Omaha World Herald. We try to read between the lines. We try to add in the things that don't always, that's not always considered. So this comment by Brianna Full goes right along with what we kind of do here. So we appreciate that comment for sure. Wanda Lewis says extra credit or half day out or something. Something there's got to be something other than just chips and candy. Although some of the stuff that you're talking about, like ain't been in school for 2 or 3 years, so they bringing like elementary school rules to high school and stuff like that. Maybe chips and candy does work. I don't know. Ms. Erica Fell says, I had children in OPS high school since 2013. That behavior isn't new. One of mine went to Central before I snatched him out to go to North.
Well, why'd you snatch him out?
Yeah, that's a good question. How come you took him out of Central? And that's what I was thinking the whole time. I was kind of drifting in and out, as a matter of fact, listening to this. I was like, that's what kids do all the, this is, I don't know. They seem to be, this seems to feel a little bit more dramatic. I don't know. Brother Muhammad says that too. Brother Muhammad's running for school board as well. Check out his campaign. He says it's not just in OPS, it's in society, it's in the world. It's over time. It's all the time. It's for all time. It seems like this has been going on. So not sure. Brother Mark Manner says 21 in school suspensions for me in high school for smoking in the bathroom. So we had a system that obviously didn't work very well back in the day. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. Mr. Rickenfeld says, in my opinion, they need more counselors and need to assign time to every child to visit the counselor at least bi-weekly. There are children who have lost parents in housing before the pandemic, but even more so now. Yeah, I agree with that. I think that it's we know that it's supposed to be up to the parents and the family to support the child, to be a support as well as the school. But a lot of times kids don't have that. And I think that it's a good idea to bring in some, there is a counselor there. They just need to be more involved or more of them. And like Ms. Erica Felt says, assign every child a visit regularly.
I mean, especially now, I do think that, I do agree. I mean, I was in middle school shooting dice in the bathrooms. Stuff goes down in the bathrooms.
Maybe need a new pair of shoes.
Come on, cookies and chips. But I do think that the pandemic and again the lack of socializing and the lack of that environment, and the ability to cope and see how other students are coping, and I do think that is something different about this. It does seem like I get the sense, at least from this article, that it's happening more, or I think there's something more to it than just your average teenage angst.
Yeah, I definitely think the pandemic shook us all up. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Ricky Smith in the house. What's happening? Says parents aren't parenting and don't support the teachers either. Yeah, it's definitely a different situation between parents and teachers as far as I've been reading. Is different than it was back in the day. It seems to be more of a fight between parents and teachers than it used to be. Miss Erica Feld is explaining why she pulled her kid out of Central. Said because he was a freshman and got in my car smelling like weed. His eyes and head were clear, but it was a matter of time. He told me kids with vodka in their water bottles, and I was done. I wasn't willing to drive out of my way for that. He could go to North, where his stepfather worked, across the street at the Y.
Oh, okay. Closest to the stepfather. So I was gonna say, you moved on the North.
So if he gonna smoke weed, she might as well drive. She might as well not have to drive too far. No,
yeah, I guess.
Ty Williams gives a good morning with some sunshine. Good morning, Ty Williams. Appreciate you. Brooke Allen says, just like the pandemic is worldwide, so is the negative effects on children. There's going to be a period of time where kids and adults will have to get readjusted to normal life again. I agree. There needs to be more counseling.
Yeah.
So I definitely think we're all on the same page. Oh, Shelton Shar, that's the name I was waiting for too. I believe Shar Shelton is running for OPS as well. Are you running for OPS too? I was getting some of the names of the candidates through the noise thing and ran across your name. So
Ricky Smith says it in the chat. Shout out Charnel Shelton, running for Omaha Public School Board.
Hey, we would love to have you on the show too. Talk about your campaign as well, since we got you listening now. Shar Shelton says parental involvement is critical in the overall success of students. Teachers need to feel supported by the parents, and they need to create a relationship to ensure the overall success of the child. Shelton for OPS. Yeah. Yeah, definitely, man. I mean, I always think of that as well. Is the parents definitely need to be involved with the child, with the relationship between the child and the school. Um, parent involvement is crucial, especially now. Just in the stuff that we've been talking about the colonization of school, of curriculum in school, and how that needs to be battled from day one in the first place by outside forces like parents. So I
Actually,
don't
that
know.
makes me think of. I don't know if you got or caught on or checked out Abbott Elementary.
I finally
Yeah,
watched 2 or 3
man.
episodes of it. Yeah.
Man, good episode, good show, good show. But there's an episode in particular that actually kind of addresses that element of it, the parent teacher relationship.
Mm,
There's a student who was, always late, kind of acting out in class, not really, getting into the lesson. And his mom would bring him late, all the time. And finally, the teacher talked to his mom, and then she just kind of was like, "Oh, I didn't know, that what was going on. Oh, I didn't know that he was falling behind. I didn't know."
right.
So yeah, that definitely will help as far as the student's behavior, at least if the teacher and the student, or teacher and parent, are on the same page.
Yeah. With that, chat's going off. Definitely go back and check out some of these comments. Wanda Lewis says, "I think North High has more security than most other schools. They need restroom security. Seems like." Yeah, I hear more. I feel like I hear more stories of craziness going on in other schools besides North. Um, Also, Wanda Lewis says only 6 students in the restroom at a time. Okay, talking
Yeah.
about some of the policies they got there. Yeah,
Yeah.
Char Shelton, love to come chat. Yeah, we'll definitely. Thanks for the email there. We'll definitely hit you up on with the email on you coming in and talking to us for sure.
Brooke also pointing out the first episode of Atlanta as far as the teacher parent relationship, and how that can,
Ooh,
man, yeah, that was heavy. We're not gonna talk too much about it, spoil it for anyone who
yeah,
hasn't seen it, but yeah, man, yes, that's a
definitely
real
got to
one
check
too.
it out
Yeah, man.
for sure. Cool. Yeah, like I said, definitely check out some of these comments in the chat. Cameron Snipes, we always gonna want to know what your opinion about something is.
Yeah,
So, yeah, you do a lot of work in all of these things as well. So,
man. And
yeah. Mhm.
before we get off of this, just letting people know, I am a proud product of Omaha North Magnet, a proud um pupil of the great Gene Haynes. But
Mm.
North was rough. I'm gonna be honest. North was rough. I got robbed a couple times. I mean, I seen people get jumped. I mean, it was North.
Hey, bro, I grew up in California. In junior high, I had somebody. There was a murder in 8th grade and a riot in
Man,
7th grade. It's all over, bro. Like like rough as school's a rough period. That's just
yeah.
and
I
we ain't even talking about people bringing guns to school and shooting up the school and
man,
all that.
man,
Like
man.
it can get rougher than
Yeah,
what we
yeah,
got going on.
yeah. But
I
I
see.
will
Mhm.
just my final thought on this, and then you can go to where you want to go. As far as Brianna Fool, Brother Muhammad, Charles Shelton, even Miss Kimra when you served. At least I will say that the board, and as far as OPS in our community, has some hope.
Most deaf. Name I haven't seen in a while or seen ever really. Margot Juarez. Thank you for joining us. Says I serve on the school board also for Subdistrict 8. I will be on the ballot in November. I agree with Ricky. I felt the news article left out perspective. That's kind of general consensus. Yeah, I appreciate you coming into the chat here and chiming up and letting yourself be known. Appreciate that. Yeah, the parent perspective. She said the Margot Juarez says article left out parent perspective. That's interesting. Yeah, most definitely. Stephen Abraham in the house. Good morning, everyone. I'm thinking many of the issues that OPS is facing is due to staff shortages, low parent engagement, possibly due to work, and being truly culturally sensitive. Being that OPS is the most diverse school district in the state. Yeah, I agree. When at the beginning of the year, we were talking about teacher friends of mine that were talking about leaving over what was going on with the pandemic, and they were shorthanded. There was a lot of people left the industry, left teaching. There was definitely a shortage of teachers, all kinds of stuff going on. So that's what's up. Kimmer Snipes says Margot is a neighborhood leader too, and out super awesome Sona secretary, our super awesome Sona secretary. That's what's up.
Hey, okay.
So nice to meet
Hey,
you,
yeah.
Margot. Appreciate you chiming in. I hope that you become a regular chat chimer. Seems like you have a lot of things that you can hip us to. So we appreciate that for sure. And yeah, man, lots of good comments on this. Everybody's fired up about this one.
Man, definitely appreciate that, y'all.
Yeah.
And we can continue to talk about this, but we got some other topics to dive into. So yeah, let's gonna keep it moving.
Yeah, let's keep it moving. 7:35 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, you're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich in the house. We do have a special guest coming up in just about 10 minutes, so stay tuned for that. Chris Bowling from the Readers in the house, and we're going to get a lot of good information from him. In the meantime, before we jump to a break, you want to jump into the next story just so we can, I know that we got a pretty full day, so let's not dilly-dally on this one.
I'm with that. Let's go ahead and tee it up, and it coincides right with our next guest. And this is sort of a positive. This is a solution story that I'm definitely excited to talk about, and this is coming off the heels of our conversation about the Omaha Land Bank and how the Habitat for Humanity is one of the organizations that gets a lot of those properties, and now at least we're finding out what they're doing with some of those properties with this new program that officially launched back in February. It's called the Almost Home program, which takes recipients and applicants through a process of fixing their credit, fixing their financial situation, and eventually getting a mortgage and owning a home. They're according to the article now able actually Lacey Studnicka, who's the Habitat for Humanity program director, says that we only have 50 to 60 houses every year, but now we can help stabilize the financial health of 300 to 400 people. So again, good news coming out of Habitat for Humanity and the work that they're doing and assisting people and just shoring up their financial situation to get in a home.
So that they're basically helping people reach home ownership sooner.
Yes. And even if they don't reach home ownership, again, there are certain stages in this project or in this program that, fixes their credit, helps them develop a saving plan, things like that, that even if they don't get a mortgage or end up owning the home that they're in, they're still in a better financial situation to go on and do other things.
That's what drew my eye about this article too, is the fact that they were talking about financial literacy.
Yeah.
And that's something that we have been trying to get on even more recently and learn more ourselves and talk about here more on the show. Just financial literacy in general, which is something that is hardly ever taught. And a lot of us just don't know. A lot of us didn't grow up with it. And so any bits of information, any help that we can get on that is a good thing. And just going in that direction of even talking about financial literacy, that's what's up.
Yeah,
and a lot of what I'm hearing is that yes, we need to be really looking into owning land, owning homes, and that's got to be part of this thing. Vicky Young says that's a beautiful thing. Financial literacy is crucial for sure. Also, Ricky Smith says, I'm a current board member. Appreciate you chiming in and letting us know about you as well. I hope that you become a regular chat chimer and come on in. And we'd love to have some of that inside information since you've been there on the board.
Yes.
And get it from the word from somebody who's actually there. So appreciate you chiming in the chat on that. More Valentine in the house. What's happening says financial literacy is a key piece. So, they're echoing the things that we're talking about here on this. Definitely a key piece. I like the focus of real estate and land, and that being one of the focuses on doing the things you need to do to get through your financial literacy up and your situation better. That's kind of what I'm definitely leaning towards. I look to that when I'm trying to figure out my situation personally as well. So.
Man, it's all about that. And it's interesting that, Habitat saw that was the route and kind of felt the need to address that. And maybe we got some school board members, maybe I think it was Florida, take a cue from Florida as far as adding financial literacy as a requirement in the schools. Because before we get to that point, it'd be nice for us to come out of school having this information. But I do want to connect it to the first story as far as again, this could help some of those students who might be acting out in school because of the home situation and stability at home isn't quite there, because the parents are dealing with maybe being fired, not being able to pay rent, evicted. And we talk about all the countless people being evicted. What are the chances that some of them have children? I just want to put that out there. And then also as far as how this program works, this is an interesting change as well. Typically, Habitat for Humanity, either you apply and you're either accepted or denied. Now, Habitat for Humanity will continue building and renovating houses, but no longer send denial letters. Instead, they will offer a pathway to homeownership by focusing first on helping people get quote unquote mortgage ready. There will be classes and financial counseling that will help people work through such obstacles as debt that have gone to collection, high debt to income ratio, even bankruptcy. The people work with Habitat certified counselors to develop a customized plan of action to address those issues. The program also offers 3 paths to homeownership, depending on family needs. They could purchase a house built or renovated by Habitat. They could obtain a mortgage from Habitat Omaha and purchase a home on the open market, which is interesting. And then also people with income that are a little higher, but also have credit issues, could work to fix their credit issues, apply for a traditional mortgage, and buy a house on the open market. So they're not even assisting people on just getting Habitat for Humanity homes. They're assisting in the open market. So this is huge. This is huge.
Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, that's interesting. I'm definitely want to deep dive into more of what Habitat's doing now that they're talking this. So you don't even get a turn down letter. You get some schooling if you get turned down when you're applying for one of the homes. Right? That's crazy. I love it. In the chat, real quick, Shelton Shar says, I think Senator McKinney has a bill for that. Yeah, seem to remember something about that as well. We have to double check and look that up.
Okay.
Brianna Full says, believe it or not, Senator Slama passed a bill that makes it so high schoolers need a financial literacy credit to graduate. Okay, that's what's up.
Okay,
that's that's a good thing for sure. Rome's Review says schools should have laundromats and food banks available to students. See, that's Mayor Sanchez again with all these good ideas.
Man,
appreciate that idea for sure. I do think that we need to be looking out in school for more services, more things that can really kind of help the situation.
For the parents out there who have students still in school, do they still do home ec? Is that still something they offer?
Did you have home ec when you was in school?
Yeah, we was cooking eggs in the microwave.
Bruh. That's why they coming out frying chicken in the microwave. That's what it is. Charshell says sounds like a great program. Instead of a hard no, they're creating a pipeline to get where they need to get. What? Wait a minute. Oh my goodness.
You talking about the comment?
I'm fully flabbergasted now.
You talking about the comment?
Yeah. Who said? Never mind. I don't even want to.
I think that was Chris.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I'm like, where is this coming from? Okay. Oh my goodness.
So for those who don't know, they can't see the private chat. You gotta let them know. You gotta say it now, Paul. You reacted.
Chris Bowling in the house who's coming up in just about a minute said the first meal I learned how to cook
was eggs in the microwave.
Eggs in the microwave. So that's real for like you talking about
home ec.
The home ec is teaching people to cook eggs in the microwave.
Yes. You're cooking. You learn how to cook. You learn how to iron. You're learning how to fold clothes, how to wash, and during the cooking portion, you're cooking in the microwave, making eggs and bacon in the microwave.
Miss Erica Fell says, I don't think so. So maybe it's not. They don't do that no more. She says, none of mine have ever taken it if it was an option.
Okay.
Yeah. And Brianna Full says we need clothing pantries too. A lot of those babies don't have clothes to fit. Jackets in the winter and all that.
Yeah, that's huge.
Miss Snipe says I made a homecoming dress my senior year because of home ec. Everyone should know how to sew.
Man, that's dope.
So I mean, I come from back in the day when I remember them doing that. But I thought I heard that they don't teach that kind of stuff no more.
I don't think so. That's why I'm putting out the poll. That's why I'm trying to see. It doesn't look like they do.
Look, Wanda Lewis said we used to make apple crisps. So they used to get down back in the day.
We did that too, but I vividly remember the eggs in the microwave. Yeah, I did. And to put it out there, I didn't eat the eggs in the microwave. I just made it as a part of class. But
Lord have mercy.
Miss Erica felt, I know microwave ain't cooking. Dag it, I know.
Let's take a quick break. We're gonna come back. We got Chris Bowling in the house, the connoisseur of the microwaved egg, coming up. Chris, baby boy, Bowling in the house. First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich. Stay tuned. Yo, welcome back. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich, little Pops theme right there. Thank you, Pops, for providing that. And thank you all for sticking with us and joining into the chat. The chat is very chimey today, so we appreciate the chat chimers.
Especially for a Monday.
Yeah, man, especially for this crazy Monday. Speaking of Mondays, you know what time it is. It's time for us to have special guests in the house. The first special guest we have is Chris Bowling from The Reader. Let's get him in there. How you doing, bro?
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, good to see you. Good to see you in the flesh,
Good
man.
seeing
How
you guys.
doing?
Oh yeah, of course. I'm good. Just just thinking about making eggs in the microwave and the whole technique with that. Look, I mean, it's not the best way to make eggs, but it works. While you guys in microwave.
Yeah.
See, I thought Donald Glover was going way out with that fried chicken in the microwave.
No, man,
it don't seem so far fetched now. It really doesn't, man.
On a paper plate too. That just shows you. I don't know what the hell my dad was thinking. It was thinking back now on it, it's pretty nasty. But what are you gonna do?
Yeah. I will say I don't know if Mama God is in the chat, but she did send me to college with a microwave cookbook. I'm gonna have to find that thing.
Wow.
But there were quite some like a complete Thanksgiving dinner in the microwave. I'll say that.
Interesting. Huh.
That's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah. It just seems crazy. I don't know. It just seems crazy to me.
Again, I never ate any of this stuff. I feel like I need to put that out there. I never ate any of it, but this stuff does exist.
I think you should if you had to cook it and you was taught it, you need to. Well, tasting is a part of cooking, so I don't know how you got away with not eating what you cooked, but
partners.
Wanda Lewis said you got to poke a hole in the egg so it doesn't explode.
No, we're talking scrambled eggs. We're talking scrambled eggs in the microwave.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's worse or better.
I wouldn't advise it either way. I wouldn't advise it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. But eating microwave eggs and all, you still here. You still made it, man. So
I'm still alive, and I get way worse.
Definitely. Welcome. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it, man. We're here to get an update and discuss what you've been up to as far as the disinvested project.
For sure.
Continuing the housing coverage.
Yeah, no, I was thinking though it might have been a good day for you guys to have Bridget on with all the she'll have a lot to say about the about schools and all that sort of stuff the next time you guys have her on. But I've been still doing housing stuff. We've got another issue coming out on Thursday, and I have a story about landlords, code violations, how we keep bad landlords accountable and make sure that people have safe housing. And sort of the too long didn't read version is that we're not doing a very good job in Omaha. So that is the story that I have coming up.
And that's dropping on Thursday, correct?
Yep.
All right, so definitely look out for y'all or for that, y'all. And again, it's the latest installment in the disinvested project. And just kind of giving a little bit behind the scenes scoop as far as the reporting process.
Mhm.
How did this story kind of develop? What made you want to attack this angle as far as the housing issue?
Yeah, well, so we've gone through like development and sort of like positive home ownership stories, and then a very obvious problem, and one that I think people understand really well is the lack of available safe housing for people, and landlords, is like landlords especially who like own land and are not keeping up with it. I guess the thing that really set it off for me was in late January the city condemned a building at 2557 Jones Street, the Flora Apartments. People might remember that. And I went and toured it with someone before people vacated it. And I've been in like some bad buildings in my life, but that was pretty just like imagining people living there was really, really hard to, imagine. And so, that set me down a path of, basically asking, well, why was it able to be like this? Are there other places like that? Who are these landlords that are racking up code violations? And so, one of the big things we did, so if you look up like Omaha code violation database or something like that, the city actually has a interactive database that will show you where all the code violations are. And we've used that in the past, but the one key detail that's not on that database is who owns the properties. But there's a link that will go to some page on the city's website that will show you who owns the properties, including if it's like, well, I'll get into that later. But anyway, what we did was we built a web scraper so that you tell a robot basically do this link and then fill out like all the information on the other page. So we found who has the most code violations, and there were some things that were surprising, and then there's some things that weren't. I just see Stephen Abraham is talking about. I mean, yes, a lot of, I would almost say exclusively, all the bad landlords. Actually, no, 100% of the bad landlords in North Omaha do not live in North Omaha. There was this one address that was, they've since moved, but it was just south of West Side, and they own like 170 properties, and I think 171 properties, and 170 of them were in North Omaha. And so, yeah, I mean, and there's so many other things. I mean, one of the top bad landlords was this company in Colorado. But if you go on their website, I was like, well, I should try to contact them. And when you go on their contact page on their website, it's like, oh, visit our offices in the Bahamas, in Switzerland, and Toronto. And, when you find the CEO's name on the code violation database, his address is 45 Rockefeller Plaza, New York City. So it's just kind of like, I mean, there's so many other examples. I mean, it's weird because the guy who owns those Flora apartments, Bill Stanek, he's not even like in the high part of that list as far as code violations. So it's so that was a huge thing. And then basically from there, basically just went to find those real stories that talk about the problem, talk to the city about how code inspection works, try to talk to landlords. That didn't really work. Except I did talk to the Lund company, and they were pretty transparent as far as the questions I had for them. So, but yeah, it was a really interesting process, and I learned a lot of really insane stuff. I don't know if you guys want to ask questions or if you just want to keep like letting me pop off, but
no, we
I have a lot of. Okay, all right.
No, I'm just playing. But I did just have me have a thought about the intermediate area that happens between these landlords and the people living in these houses, which is the management companies. They can't be sitting in New York and Rockefeller Plaza without having a management company manage these homes. So, how much success have you had contacting, like you said, Lund talked to you, but any of the other management companies?
Yeah. So no. I reached out to Palladino and the one that has the offices in the Bahamas and everything like that, and a couple other ones. And Lund got back with me, and they have not, like, to put it in perspective, the entity that has like the top code violations, which is that one in Colorado that, you know, is in the Bahamas and Switzerland, they have like 89, and the Lund company I think has like 26 or something like that. And, you know, so they were, you know, they were just trying to point out like, oh, we own a lot of properties. And so, you know, when you own a lot of properties, things like this are going to happen, which is true. I mean, that's the one thing that, you know, I wish we could have done was, you know, trying to wait like, okay, if you own like 5 properties and all 5 of them have crazy code violations, but you own like 10,000 and you only have 20, those are not really, you know, equatable, but you know, just with the data we have, I mean, the Lund company, they were like doing searches on the whole web of like housing is crazy because yeah, like you said, there's a lot of these big companies, you know, they'll point out like, oh, we don't actually own any properties. Like we just manage companies that own properties. Well, it's like, isn't that really the same thing? So that's also a thing where these big companies out of state will buy up, you know, really bad properties that have always had problems. Like they'll buy the company that manages them, and so it's just it's a very complicated web. But at the very heart of it all is that, you know, people have to, you know, live in these places and they should be safe. And if they're not safe, then somebody, and you know, you should think about the city, should be able to you know, act as a check. And right now that's just really not happening. I mean, probably the person who made that point the clearest was the city's own chief housing inspector, who's just like, we do not, you know, we can't do it because we don't have the tools available to us. We don't have the teeth. So yeah,
they don't have the teeth.
That is interesting. That's kind of where I was going with that too. Is like let's talk about some solutions, and the solution is the oversight. And so, what is in your opinion, from what you've seen, why don't they have the teeth? Why don't they have the resources?
Well, so there's probably a couple different things. So first off, and I'm gonna forget how many years ago now. I think 5 years ago, maybe more. MAPOA, or the Metro Omaha Property Owners Association, which is the like advocate, you know, organization for landlords, they sued the city, and I can't remember exactly what it was about now, but essentially the product of this lawsuit was that the city and MAPOA settled, and the city said, okay, we're going to change our code because we're going to change our code so that housing inspectors, like let's say you're walking down the street and you see like a building that looks like it has clear code violations. If you're a housing inspector, you cannot go up there and write up any of those code violations. You have to wait until somebody directly complains to you about something, because basically property owners were saying it's a violation of their rights and it's a violation of tenants' rights too and all that sort of stuff. So,
so as you can imagine, they can live in a dilapidated house if they want to, huh?
Yeah, pretty much. And so that creates a lot of problems because, you know, there are a lot of reasons that a tenant will not, you know, reach out and complain. I mean, fear of retaliation, fear of being evicted, all that sort of stuff. And so, so yeah, that basically just took away a lot of their, you know, ability to make an impact. I mean, I don't think it was perfect before this, but it definitely made it harder. And from what I understand, there's been a lot of turnover since then. Their new housing inspector comes in. He is trying to really rebuild the department. So they went from having like 6 code enforcers to now they have 13, and he's hoping they'll have 15 by the end of the year. The rental registry also exists, which if anyone doesn't know is in 2019, this was after Yale Park. I'm sure everybody remembers that. But, you know, landlord North Omaha had, you know, 85 different code violations for a building that was housing a bunch of refugees. And then it gets shut down and the refugees become refugees again in Omaha. But at any rate, so the rental registry is supposed to be a thing where landlords have to sign up and you get a regular inspection. Well, it's only once every 10 years, which is not really, you know, nationally speaking, that's not very effective. But the one good thing about it is that if you're a bad landlord, like if you've had a code violation in the past few years, you have to be on an annual inspection list. And once you pass 2 annual inspections or take an online education course, you are put on that 10-year list. And so, it's something, but they're so inundated by like all like the code inspection office. They just, they're way behind, I think, on where they want it to be. And so only a few landlords have even done that 2 annual inspection thing. But there's, landlords are, this is in the story, but landlords are also trying to undermine that by that same organization, MAPOA, is like, hey, you should take this document that we have and have your tenants sign it, saying that they will not let a inspector into their house. And actually, a friend of mine got one of these letters, and it even went as far to say, if you let an inspector into your house, we are going to charge you $125, which happens to be the fee for an inspection that the city would charge the landlord. So there's a whole lot of tomfoolery going on, to put it plainly. But yeah,
if you want to get inspected, you got to pay for your own inspection, huh?
That's crazy. And like, is that legal?
And that's a good question.
But
right.
It doesn't. But the thing is that maybe is a little bit of opinion, but the imbalance of power between a tenant and a tenant and a landlord, is, especially when you're living in a place that is maybe not safe, cheaper rent, something like that. You're probably not living there because you want to. You might be living there because you have to. And if you're faced with these, possibly being evicted or having a real problem, I mean, I don't care who you are, like, you don't want to have a problem with your landlord at all. And so, I think people might just be like more willing to just say, well, whatever. And I mean, I talked to one woman who, tried to speak up for herself with her landlord. And this was in Dundee. She didn't have proper heat in her apartment, and it was like 40 degrees in the middle of January. And, so just not very livable. And, she'd been bringing this up for over a year, I think. And then finally she sent like a letter that was like, you have to do this and you owe me this much money for all the heating bill, blah, 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 blah. And they evicted her. So, it happens.
Yeah, my experience, one of the big scary things is the landlord's always saying, well, we'll have to raise the rent if we fix that. Yeah. And a lot of people just will live with some mess just because they don't want their rent raised. That's just the first phase of that, and then it can go all the way up until like people getting evicted. So, Tenants United is an organization that comes to mind about tenants' rights, and I think there's going to be a lot more talk about that, especially after your article. And I encourage everybody to read it. Chris is a very descriptive writer. You want to know about some of these places that he's walked into, check it out. I'm quite sure that he's been very descriptive when it comes to those things. Lots of things going on in the chat, but it is 8:03. We're going to go ahead and let you go. Any last thoughts that you have on this subject, or anything coming up that you are fired up about?
Geez, I mean, I'm happy to see like so many people in the chat chiming in. That's really cool. I don't know. I mean, yeah, we're gonna keep going with the disinvested stuff. If you want to reach out to me, my email is chris@thereader.com. If you have any thoughts on housing issues, please let me know, because once I wrap up, we're gonna do this next month's story and then the month after that, and then because you got to make do with the resources you have. I'll be transitioning over to reporting on crime, and so. And it's a really broad topic. So my initial thought right now is to really just try to look at it through a mental health perspective. But if anybody, if you think there's something that I should report on, or you have ideas, you want to talk about it, email me. Yeah, I'm always receptive to hearing ideas. So yeah, I think that's probably it.
There's his email is in the chat, chris@thereader.com. So again, if you have that information or any ideas, as he just mentioned, again, that's chris@thereader.com. And I see a few people. Michelle Lubash says, just tuned in. Where is the article by Chris? I can read. It's not out yet. Again, the article drops Thursday. You can check it out on the Reader. Do you know if that'll be live on the website on Thursday, or will that just be in the
Yeah,
print issue?
yeah, no, I'll have it live Thursday morning, and then the papers, you can, if you go on thereader.com, you scroll to the bottom, there's a link that says find a copy, and then you can find where the paper copies will be. It might be more like Friday. It just kind of depends sometimes, on the issue, like where they get out, but it'll be online on Thursday. So yeah.
There you go. Check it out on Thursday. TheReader.com that gets down. Again, as always, a big shout out to Chris Bowling from The Reader for taking the time out of his busy schedule of cooking eggs in the microwave and things like that. To come talk to us.
You know what I'm doing as soon as I get home. Come on now.
I want eggs from the microwave in a paper plate with some ketchup and bring it ASAP.
Oh my God, that's too real. That's like a visceral taste memory for me. Oh God.
Oh,
Yeah,
man,
let me tell you, my mom did not teach me how to cook that. My dad taught me how to cook that, so that should tell you everything.
my stepdad still makes hot dogs in the microwave. It's
Whoa.
Yeah. Hey.
With that. Yeah, okay. We're gonna let y'all get out of here for you ruin my appetite for the day. Chris Bowling, ladies and gentlemen, Chris Baby Boy Bowling from The Reader, my man in the house. Thanks for coming in, brother.
Sir.
Appreciate you.
Yep, thanks, guys.
Have a good man. Peace. Well, stay tuned. We'll be right back. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich. And shout out to Chris Bowling for coming through.
Yeah,
we'll be right back. Stay tuned. Don't you go nowhere. Augie Kid Funk.
Hey,
it's going down, man. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich. What's up, Zane? I see Zane in the house. What's up, my dude? How you doing, brother?
The dude.
What's going on? Brianna Fulkins says, thanks for the hard work you do, Chris. I'm sure he's heard that as he's walking out. Chris is always great. Yeah, thanks, Pops. Yeah, definitely a good dude right there, man. Digs deep for the story, and really draws you in with his style of writing. And Brother Valentine says, looking forward to reading the article. Yeah, the reader has done some. The Reader has stepped up right along with what's been going on here with First Sky Omaha, man. The pandemic changed them from a culture magazine to a topics magazine, a topics newspaper that deep dives into the story. So they brought in some heavy hitting reporters and really moved in that direction. And they're all about the social justice at the vision of the great John Huston, who, by the way, I talked to the other day. Heard his voice. He's doing better, doing well. He's going through what he's going through and going through it like a soldier. So shout out to John Huston, and he's happy about how everything has been put in place. While he's absent for a little while with the crew, and the crew stepped up, and so we're really proud of our fam over there at the Readers for sure.
Still doing the work. Still doing the work.
Brooks says Zane sings that in the morning part with Buddy. That's what's up.
The dude.
I like that. Margot Juarez says, I objected to the housing initiative going forward at the SONA meeting due to the lack of enforcement from the city. I think this area should be strengthened to alleviate problems down the road. Potentially, this may happen with housing initiatives. Okay.
And I didn't want to mention that as far as just the process of addressing these issues and how we hope to sort of direct the conversation here on First Sky Omaha. Having reporters like Chris come on to give the behind the scenes scoop on how they got the story and to give the story is one step. But I want to urge, everyone in the chat to maybe think about as we continue to talk about housing. that was an important thing that Chris mentioned, as far as, again, all of the plausible deniability that we're seeing, and all of the really that bill, as far as the housing inspection, that changed the housing inspection. Maybe we need to do something about that. Maybe we need to write a letter to Terrell McKinney, or have Brother Senator Justin Wayne on, and address that, or if it's not at the Senate level, holler at Miss Councilwoman Johnson, Juanita Johnson, and address that issue, because it definitely is an issue.
Another solution that was thrown out into the chat earlier was by Manny by Town. Emmanuel Charles says, sounds like a positive use for eminent domain.
I saw that too. I kind of wanted him to expand on that concept. That sparked my interest as well.
So when he said it, I thought, oh, we're gonna jump right to that. And I have a negative connotation, feelings, and thoughts about eminent domain because of how it's poorly used, and used to take away especially Black and brown people's land and homes, and used a lot in our communities to do what they're trying to do, gentrification, colonization, I should say, and everything else. So him just saying that made me go, I've never thought of using eminent domain in a positive way, in a way where you are taking away properties from landlords that are treating tenants badly, and circumventing laws and so on and so forth. Interesting perspective. Definitely would like to hear more about that, Manny, if you're listening. And if not, we can pick it up another time. But I thought that was real interesting for him to say positive use of eminent domain.
Yeah,
in this case.
Very interested in how he sees that tactic being flipped in that way, because I'm along with you, Paul. It is usually a negative connotation. I think the freeway comes to mind a lot of times when I think about that, because that's how a lot of that land was usurped in a way. So yeah, Manny, if you got any more information on that, or if you're down to come on, there's a couple things we could talk to you about, man. So we might have to bring you on. Also, you mentioned Tennis United. That's we also definitely need to holler at them about some of the things, because that's one of the also things that Chris mentioned that jumped out to me, and we'll be getting into that with this next story, as far as the whole David versus Goliath kind of thing, man. Like, these tenants, everybody, as you hear from Chris, everybody's kind of hands off with it, like, I can only do so much, I don't know, it's not really my problem. That's really the sense that we're getting. And who's gonna go to bat? That's why I would love to talk to Tenants United, because it's one of the few that's going to bat and stepping up for these tenants who are up against these mega corporations that own thousands of properties and have these mega lawyers on standby. You know what I mean? Like it's definitely a David versus Goliath type situation. So we'd definitely like to look into that.
For sure, man. Also, I was thinking about Franklin Thompson, who is working for the city. He is his department is reached out to say that if anybody's getting treated badly, they contact him, and there's things that he can do in order to get some investigations and some studies and stuff moving in the direction, and be able to gather evidence and stuff like that in case a tenant wants to go to court, so that his office can help as well. I can't remember the name of his office right now, but I'll find it. But there's only between that department and Tenants United, I don't even know of any other real entities that's out there to really kind of help the tenant. And that's just, it could be my ignorance, but like nothing is really standing out in my head right now about where else you can go besides a lawyer, ACLU or something maybe.
Right. Because how do you get to a Yale Park situation? How do you get to what was the name of the other apartment? The Flora. How do you get to those types of situations with holes in the roof and rain coming in, and homeless people sleeping in the hallways because there's no security doors, or there's no doors at all to the exterior? How do we get to there if people, unless it's a line, a whole chain of people not doing the job, a whole chain of people just kind of, if what is the saying? If if someone else is supposed to do the job, nobody does it. I think it kind of slaughtered that, but you get the gist. Like if everybody, it's not my job, there's only so much I can do, then there's only so much that gets done.
Right. Wanda Lewis says, for those who refuse to comply, they should forfeit their properties. Pop says, yes, that's a brilliant idea about using eminent domain in that way. So it sounds like we're all for snatching that right away from these raggedy tenants, raggedy landlords. I mean, yeah. Yeah, I can kind of see that. It's hard all the way around. Not a lot of support. I wanted to go back up in the chat a little bit because Leah Keister was bringing a good point out. She said I've had patients who have bed bugs and they do nothing to help them resolve it. I made tons of calls in the community for help, but there was no assistance I could find for Roth. So it's this is the kind of stuff I'm talking about too. Like, where are the organizations that you can get some help for these types of things? She says legal aid officer offers some great resources. They have pro bono lawyers to help with some.
To be honest,
I think to be honest. Okay.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, yes, there you got legal aid, you got together, you have all these organizations. What is the city doing? Like, what? That's my whole thing. Like, who in the city? Because the city is supposed to have some kind of code violation. Like, they're supposed to be doing something about it.
Who they call for that? I mean,
exactly.
That's who's enforcing it. That's kind of what we're asking about now. So,
right.
Mr. Capel says legal aid can rarely help.
Is that typo? Did you mean really, or is it rarely?
Well, it says rarely on her comment.
Yeah.
Brother Muhammad says Franklin Thompson, Omaha Human Rights and Relations Department. Thank you for getting that department for me. Yeah, for sure. So, Leah Keister having a little trouble with the fat finger and the things. I understand. It's all good.
Okay, rarely.
Yeah, Miss Eric Fell says rarely with some caps. She's hollering at you now, all caps. Rarely, son, rarely. I think it's that's what I heard too. I feel like they rare. I feel like it's every time there's some kind of issue that I know about personally, there's not a lot of help. There's just not a lot of help. Not a lot of places to call. Not a lot of places to not that can help even if you are calling. Don't know. Wanda Lewis says I used to inspect some OHA properties. We used to roll up our pant legs and spray our socks and shoes before entering due to bed bugs. Woo.
And people got to live in this, y'all.
People got to live with that stuff. That's rough. That's really rough. Okay. Yeah. Lots to talk about here. Let's definitely look for more resources. I'll reach out to Franklin Thompson. We can talk about his department again. Once again, thanks, Brother Muhammad, for giving us that. Omaha Human Rights and Relations Department. I'm sure that he probably has other resources and stuff to get a hold of as well. And then we have friends in Tennis United, right? Don't we know people in Tennis United?
I think Doug, previously formerly of Doug and Mika if you remember from the Mind and Soul days.
Yeah.
Also he's a professor at UNO, former professor at UNO. He's a part of Tennis United, and he's connected us. We've interviewed some people during the Mind and Soul days from Tennis United, but it'd be nice to tap back in. Also, I believe Dave Pontos, he's doing some eviction court things and assisting and some of that. So we might be able to tap in with him as well.
Man, shout out to Dave Pontos for coming in on the Clutch Friday. That was awesome. I'm glad that he was able to come in and represent a little bit. And shout out to him for doing that work, man. That's pro bono work this brother's doing for sure.
Yeah.
Tanaya Patterson in the house says comes back around to the city and lackadaisical interest in code enforcement.
Yeah, man. But again, that legislation that Chris pointed to about the landlords getting the code or the law surrounding the codes, changed to where tenants have to report it before the code inspectors can come and inspect. That's a very important part, because I've heard many stories. Actually, that's almost the sole reason why a lot of tenants don't complain, is because tenants are the landlords are threatening them, and there's a lot of coercion and duress, on these tenants to not say anything and not have an eviction on their record, and therefore not be able to get in a house anywhere else. I mean, it's kind of like, this is abuse. Do what I say, or I'm gonna ruin your life type situation. And a lot of these landlords have the resources to do that. So again, I think if we can contact a city council member or a senator or something to get maybe some legislation or something as far as the laws and the ordinances to change that, to help these tenants to get some teeth, they that'll go a long way.
Most definitely. If you're just joining us, 8:19 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, you're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul
In the
B.
morning.
Oh man, I missed it.
No, it's
Paul
all
B.
good.
Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich in the house, and we have a special guest that's coming in here pretty soon. Stay tuned for that. It will be on in a few minutes. In the meantime, Buddy, before we hit a break, you want to go ahead and jump into the next subject because we do have several things to talk about left.
Yeah, man. And I'm sort of I'm teeing it up as far as not just the tenants and the landlord situation, but there's another David versus Goliath fight that's happening across the country. But the latest win in that fight coming out of Staten Island, New York, in reference to an Amazon worker who was actually fired 2 years ago because he tried to stage a walkout and create a union, and he has now won the creation of that union after a vote from the National Labor Board. And again, this is a large victory because Amazon is one of the largest retail suppliers in the country, if not the largest, and also one of the largest employers, period, in the country, with thousands of plant processors, drivers, and what have you. But also, as the largest, there's been a lot of complaints I've personally heard from employees of Amazon about that, the lengthy hours, the lack of pay, and also the lack of breaks. I heard they have like very short, very sparse breaks. But again, Chris Smalls in Staten Island, New York, wasn't having it. And eventually he was able, actually just recently was able to win the creation of the Amazon Labor Union, also known as the ALU, with the support of 2,654 votes from warehouse workers in favor of the union, again, giving it enough support to pull off the victory. That's according to the National Labor Relations Board. But of course, again, in the David versus Goliath fight, you will expect Goliath to fight back, which is exactly what Amazon has done as they continue to threaten, and the possibility of a lawsuit coming out on the heels of this victory is a real possibility, as Amazon is not only undermining the ability of this employee, who their lawyers have actually called, said he's not smart or articulate at all, but they're also trying to undermine the National Labor Relations Board, and therefore the constitutional act that creates or gives workers the ability to organize.
Wow.
And again, this is a fight that Amazon is definitely poised to go in. If anyone has the resources to mount that fight, it's Amazon. Jeff Bezos got deep pockets. So yeah, man.
Yeah, well, I think that we'll take that win anyway. I think it's a positive story, positive win, and it just goes to show you it doesn't matter really how big the company is. The power of organizing, like Ms. Snipes just said, the power of organizing is strong. Can be strong. So the EA's gonna get a fight, but at least he won this battle, and for all to see. So I saw him the other day up giving a speech. He was like, I want to thank Jeff Bezos for going to outer space, because they gave us the opportunity to organize and put this thing together. 2 hard fought years of trying to get organized. They definitely want better pay. They definitely want better working conditions. And we're in the middle of this whole what they were trying to call the Great Resignation, but it's more kind of the Great Evaluation or something. I don't know. It's something else, because there's people who are sick of not having a living wage, sick of getting treated bad by large corporations.
Yeah, man.
Need better working conditions. Need more mental health resources.
And to that point, I did want to dive specifically in what they're saying. But
go ahead.
They were asking for longer breaks, and to the minimum wage to go up from $18 to $30 an hour.
To go up to 18?
No, to go up from $18 to $30 an hour.
So they paying less than $18 an hour to Amazon? Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, that's that seems drastic. It seems huge to ask. It seems like a big ask, but you know, brothers, you know, they watching the CEO go out in outer space. So I mean, you know, a lot of that stuff they can see what's going on there. Very interesting demands, but I don't know how far they'll get with it. But at least they organized to get to it, which is kind of like what the big deal is here in this one. So, shout out to Staten Island. Shout out to my man Smalls.
Yeah,
Biggie Smalls got with him. Got with Amazon.
I was thinking about that too, Biggie Smalls. But it's not just Amazon, it's also Applebee's. I don't know. This actually is a video on Friends of First Sky group page. Story about a bunch of workers at Applebee's in Lawrence, Kansas, doing a walkout after one of the executives for Applebee's sent out an email basically suggesting that the hike in gas prices and the inflation, he characterized that as an opportunity for the company to rebuild its workforce and pay lower wages, which led to several employees, actually a mass walkout at this Applebee's. Managers, cooks, everybody, 24 employees walked out.
Dang, they just went ahead and left the eggs in the microwave and said, peace.
There's also Starbucks workers trying to organize and things. So yeah, would you say would you call it I
don't know. I'm kind of like thinking of some other thing, because the Great Resignation is kind of something that the business owners have come up with, putting the blame on the workers.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's more like the great reevaluation or something like that. More so, it's more so workers that are just tired of these conditions. So, you know, and this is you know everybody is saying like this is the season for you to join, put that union together to unionize and really kind of make the demands. If you're not going to quit whole industries, like some industries are hurting, for like the food industry is hurting for people so bad it's crazy. People are not going back to restaurants life, back to service life. They're just leaving people hanging, and restaurants are closing down because they can't find people to work. Yeah, so if they're not doing that and they're working in these companies, then the next step for those people are to kind of step up and unionize. Seems like to me, power organization, like Kimmer Snipe says.
Yes.
In the chat, real quick, Stacey Jean says perseverance pays off. I wonder if Amazon's lawyers think he's still not smart or articulate.
Okay,
I'm sure they don't, but
right.
You know. Kimmer Snipe says, if you're a member of the Nebraska Civic Engagement Table, each year we open up an application for our organizer school. We select 3. We pay for a salary for a year and benefits, and the nonprofit learns the benefit of having an organizer on staff.
Nice.
That's what's up. Learn how to organize, get paid for it, and do something for the community too.
Man.
Sean McCarthy in the chat says, for all the money it costs for Bezos to donate to senators and Congress people, not to mention paying all of his lawyers, it would probably be cheaper to put that money into making his workplace livable and to pay his workers a living wage. We did the math here at one time when Michelle Troxclair came up with $27 was getting close to a living wage.
Yep.
So 18 don't really sound like a living wage to me in anywhere in the country. If it's not a living wage in Omaha, Nebraska, it's probably not a living wage many other places.
And again, we're talking about Staten Island, New York.
This
is New York.
Come on, man. Stephen Abraham says union work has been centered around collective bargaining and recognition. In today's unions, it seems more geared towards political advantage. I do see union as being a good way for the working class voice to be heard, but I think it still needs to not protect bad workers.
Yeah, in the same way that you see you see the police unions, protect some of the quote unquote bad apples that are out in the these police forces. So yeah, they're a union when not held in bounds can definitely get out of control.
Mayor Sanchez, I got to have you on the show for this. He said, I sued and won against Denny's back in the early 90s for discrimination.
We'd love to hear that story.
We've been hearing about Denny's discrimination and lawsuits for years. I never knew anybody that actually did one. That's what's up. I want to hear about that.
Yeah.
All you kids, the great F this ish, I'm out. Wanda Lewis says, in the midst of COVID, seems like everyone did the great walkout. It appears to have worked as far as pay increases.
A little bit.
Definitely. Man, when I was out in California at one point, they were advertising at fast food places like $19 an hour, full benefits, college payoff, health care for your dog. I brought back a flyer that had literally all these things on. They were offering to get people back in working.
Man,
It was incredible. New Najee L says, I don't know what to call it, but they're expecting people to live on the streets and keep working 2 to 3 jobs to live when the cost of living and interest rates are moving faster than the wages. Grocery shopping at the other day, double what I usually have to pay for grocery shopping.
Yeah, that inflation, man, it definitely is going up, and to that point, I have heard that sentiment from some, lawmakers and senators, and people just like expecting, to be working 2 and 3 jobs, like that's normal. Like, when do you have time to live? They just want us to be cogs in the machine, man. It makes sense. It makes sense. I don't say it makes no sense, but it makes sense.
It makes sense. Speaking of cogs in the machine, we got my man Matt Wynn from Flatwater Free Press in the house. A special guest in today. How you doing, brother?
I'm all right. How are you?
Oh man, we're hanging in there. How was your weekend?
It was good. Did a fish fry. Did some soccer with the 4-year-old.
Okay.
Yeah,
man. With you on the weekend. My goodness.
Right. It sounded like a good time.
It was good. It was good.
Get some good eating and then run it off. Yeah. Nice. Well, again, go ahead, Paul.
No, I was gonna go ahead and introduce.
Yeah. For those who don't know, again, we have our friend, our man, our dude in the dishes with the data. Matt Wynn of Flatwater Free Press, one of the founders of Flatwater Free Press, and kind of the leaders over there leading the ship and making sure they're doing the good work, which they are doing the good work. And as a leader, sometimes you gotta step out and defend and support your people, which is definitely the tone that I got from this post and this Facebook post and letter that you wrote. For those who don't know, again, we're talking about the background story on the parole story that we talked about a week or so ago, and just some of the treatment that the journalists went through. And that's why we like to have our journalists on, to get the backstory that we can't really get from the article itself, because the journalist is there to get the story and do the work and answer the question that the burning question that they're asking. But some things happen in the process of answering that question. So go ahead and take it from there, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, you guys had Yen Chi on last week talking about this story. She had a good story. The parole board's 5 people. In practice, it's actually 3 or 4. You go, you've been in prison, you show up, you're ready to get out, make your case. Instead of talking to 5 people and trying to convince them, you're convincing 3, maybe 4. You need 3 votes to get out. Obviously, when that happens, the parole rate goes down, not to anyone's great surprise. So that's the story. That's what she had. And she had this in early February. I mean, we've had this for weeks at this point, right? And she did what journalists do. She tried to reach the people that she was writing about and get them to talk about what was going on. We're talking about working conditions and all that sort of stuff. Far be it for me, far be it for anybody to say, you can't go on vacation, right? You can't get sick. We're going through a pandemic. I understand all that stuff. There's good reasons why maybe they weren't at full force over the period we analyzed. But they didn't respond. She tried phone calls. She tried emails. She wasn't getting anywhere. She did that for weeks. Just nothing. Sometimes there would be a quick, friendly conversation, right? We'll get back to you. We're working on this. We'll think about it, that sort of thing. But ultimately, at the end of the day, she had nothing. So she did something that journalists have been doing since time eternal. She went to a place where she knew they were going to be. She went to a parole board hearing. Parole board hearings are in our correctional facilities. I think this one, if I recall correctly, was at the Omaha Correctional Center over there. To get in, you have to drop off your wallet, your keys, your cell phone, all that sort of stuff in a locker outside the hearing room before you go in. Yen Chi knew that was going to happen, so she actually left her phone out in the car, dropped all the rest of the stuff off in the locker or wherever it is outside the hearing room, showed up, sat through the whole thing, and then at the end of it went up to the board and said, "Hey, I'm Yen Chi. I'm the one that's been calling and emailing. I would like to ask a couple of these questions." And they said, "Well, okay, we'll get to you later. Here's a guard. He'll walk you out." Okay, that sounds, not the best that it could have gone, but it's fine. That's how it goes sometimes. What came after that was where I kind of think we crossed some sort of line. We got a letter from their parole board attorney. So this is a board that is not saw fit. They'd never felt necessary to respond to any of our questions. They didn't want to deal with us. But we got a letter from them saying, it was 2 paragraphs long. The first one said, your reporter, Yan Chi, showed up to a hearing, and she may have brought in a recording device. If she did, that could constitute contraband. Contraband in a prison, that's a crime, right? They're basically saying my reporter committed a crime, which is false, thank God. But also, you can't say that, right? That's nonsense. If that was true, it'd be one thing. But if you're saying she may have committed a crime, that's something else, right? Second paragraph was arguably even worse. The second paragraph said, you showed up to a parole board hearing, that's fine, but we have said time and time again that we prefer to have our questions in writing. It is not appropriate to ask a public official questions at a public hearing.
What?
Are you kidding me? Right? That's the thing where what are we talking about here?
Yeah.
What kind of nonsense is that? Reporters for a million years have had it where if you're trying to get an official on the record and they won't talk to you, they won't return your calls through your emails, whatever you're doing, and you know they've got a press conference, guess what? You're going to the press conference. You're going to ask them there because you know where to find them. That's just how this works. That is what we've set up here. And the idea that we are not allowed to do that because they prefer writing, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And don't you dare come at my reporter.
Yeah, hit him with the great pull up. The great pull up is what we're calling that. But correct me if I'm wrong. A lot of those parole board members are appointed by Governor Ricketts. Is that?
I should know this better than I do. I know they are governor appointed. I also know that they've been there for a long time. So I think the board chair has been there certainly since Heinemann. Perhaps others have been there as long. I don't know if they have to be reappointed at every couple of years or something like that. I couldn't tell you. But in the case of the board chair specifically, she's been there before Ricketts. I don't think there's any kind of friendly arrangement there or anything.
Okay. Well, my motive behind that question is more so getting at, I'm thinking of the noise story and just how, our governor's administration and just how some of these state officials have treated journalists, period. And there's not a lot of transparency when it comes to that level. And I just was curious if that was the same sense or you thought there was a similar, situation.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's why I wrote the column, right? This was beyond the pale. I believe that. But a lot of stuff has been beyond the pale. We've only been at this for 6-8 months, something like that. The amount of pushback that we have gotten from sources. When I used to work at the World Herald, we used to request salary information all the time. Your government, give us your salary information. We just want to know how much you pay. I mean, it's just due diligence, basic stuff. We got it every time. We got it from everybody. The tiniest town you've never heard of gave it to us because they recognize, okay, this is the law. We have to do this. This time around, we tried to get it from the state, and it took 7 months. I mean, we requested it last June. That is how long it took. We weren't able to publish the thing till October. It's just the heel dragging, the unhelpfulness, I don't know, as this letter shows, kind of attack dog mode that we see out of these government entities that I'm not used to. Something has shifted. Something has changed over the past couple of years. It has made journalists' life harder. I think it's made everybody's life harder. We're getting messaging instead of the actual story. And it's not good, and it needs to be called out.
Well, the thing that happened over the last couple of years is what we around here call the Trump effect. And we very much feel as that he kind of went on the attack when it came to news. First of all, with just the proliferation of fake news, and then the attack on journalists that don't comply to the things that they wanted them to. So I think we're feeling the ripple effects of that, especially in the areas that we are in, which is alternative news sources in a state that wants to control that. Buddy earlier talked about the situation with noise, and for those of you that don't remember what happened there, noise reporters were trying to be able to get to talk to the governor in some of these open places as well, and they were getting shut out, and also asked to deliver stuff in writing and all the same kind of thing, and to the point where the governor decided that he wasn't going to let the noise reporters into some of these press conferences that were open to the public because they were trying to call them an organization that was not news, that was like a a left wing organization, and really tried to block their ability to have press passes for these places. So that got called out, and eventually it ended up to where Noise got their press passes and were able to do what they had to do, but it was a fight.
Right. And I think one thing that it works in our favor is I think media, all media is getting this, right? It's not specific to us, just 'cause it's everybody. The world, it's Media of Nebraska is this organization of newspaper editors and TV people and all that sort of thing. And they got behind Noise in that fight, right? It wasn't even a question. They all got together. They were like, so we're going to say something, right? Yeah, we're going to say something. Everybody realizes that things have gone, again, you call it Trump effect. I don't know what it is, but something has happened. The attack on what we do in media has gone too far, and it's time for us to push back. I don't want to write that column, by the way. It is not fun for me to write a thing saying, hey, this person picked on us and our reporter. That's not cool. We don't want to be the story. Right. That's not a good place for us to be. But at a certain point, we've crossed some sort of line, and it becomes a thing we have to do. I think that's where Media of Nebraska was with that Noise thing, too.
Yeah. And to her credit, she came in and never mentioned any of this. All she did was be a reporter and talk about the story, and never mentioned once what happened to her. We found out after the fact. We were like, man, I wish we would have found out before so we could ask her about this. But she came on doing what journalists do, man, taking themselves out of the story and just talking about the story and the facts. So props to you for writing that piece and chiming up to talk about that and how you have to defend. Along those lines, let me ask you about what I know that there's probably more to do than just write an article about it. That's the first part, which is the awareness. As a company, as a news company, how else do you have to prepare for protecting your reporters? What else has to be done?
Every time we do a story, especially one where someone's going to be mad about it, legal review. We read every story, not just to make sure that what we're saying is true, but to make sure that it is legally that's going to stand up in court, right? That is something that I don't think anyone really understands about what we're doing here. It's hard. It's not fun. It has you looking up, seriously, for our stories, we're looking up the dictionary definitions of words, because if it's not exactly what we mean, we could end up on the wrong side of things in court. Wow. That's part of it. Records requests are a whole thing. We've got so many percolating right now that I don't know if this is, I apologize, this is super boring for any time, especially 9 o'clock in the morning, but there's a law that says if the government makes something, it's yours. You're a taxpayer, you have access to it. And so what we do a lot of the time is say, give us your emails, give us this database, give us this record that you make, whatever you got, right? That process is supposed to take 4 days. I've got one request that's been dangling now since early December. I don't have it yet. I don't even have an inkling of when it might arrive for me. And so I just have to babysit it, right? Every couple days, I've got to call, hey, what's going on with this? Where do we stand? What's going on? That's not fun. That is not fun. Right. And on that stuff too, you got to call in lawyers. I think there's just a whole lot more legal stuff than I wish, and then anyone realizes, right? I don't know. Does that answer the question at all?
It does. Yeah. We've been thinking a lot about it. We put our platform out here so that we can say what we want to say. Mm-hmm. And part of the reason why we have partnered with some of the partners is because we have to think about that. We're not an organization big enough yet to be able to have a team of lawyers to protect us in the case of something. So we team up with partners that do have some lawyers so that we can get a little protection if we ever need it. We're a different kind of thing and claiming to be a different kind of thing than the kind of news sources that you guys are. So you guys have a bigger burden when it comes to that. And I can't imagine the fear that must be kind of underlying. You're sending your people out there and they're getting attacked out here, and you know what? That we gotta make people aware of what reporters are going through right now, because it's like a war.
But I also just real quick, I just want to commend you, Matt, on how you ended that post about not backing down from that intimidation and not allowing that mentality to stop you from doing the work, which is why we're here.
It's not going to stop us. It is why all of us do what we do, right? I
Mhm.
mean, you tell us to go away, that's annoying, but the last thing we're going to do is leave.
Word up.
I also get it. We're reporters. It's annoying. We're asking questions that no one wants to talk about this stuff. It's very rare that a reporter shows up and you're like, oh, this is going to go all right for me.
Especially when you hide and stuff.
Yeah, that part.
But that's not going to stop it. That's not the end. And if you tell us, honestly, I hate to say this, if you don't talk to someone, if you find yourself as the target of investigation and you don't talk to them, you just made their life so much easier. They don't have to bring any nuance to the table. They don't have to represent your side of the story at all. It just becomes much. It's a journalist's dream when you don't talk at all. You should absolutely talk, complicate that narrative, right? That's the way to do it. I don't understand why. I mean, I might have just shared the playbook here, but all these entities should be doing that every single time. Talk to us. That is how you make us work for it, and we're going to do it.
Well, ultimately, that's what this is about. I mean, the Fourth Estate is about uncovering the truth that people are trying to hide, and in a state where there's a lot of things hidden, more news entities like this pop up to uncover stuff. They're going to get uncomfortable. They've been working off of this whole, let's just not say anything about it on all kinds of levels, from the school district up to the government.
Man.
That's the whole thing. Let's just act like it. Let's just say nothing about it. Just keep your mouth shut about stuff. Nobody needs to know. The fact that we have hardly any town halls, the fact that they pass laws and do things behind closed doors, everything in this state is about that. So any entity coming to uncover it, I can imagine that there's going to get some buck back on it.
Real thorn in the side of some.
Man, Wynn, we appreciate you coming in, man, letting us know some of that backstory on that. Thank you so much for that. Thank you for all you do, and thank you for helping your reporters do what they do. And any hot topics, anything going on top of your mind right now that you're all fired up about?
Man, we're just getting ready to start another week here, move on to the next piece in the series. We're actually hoping to do a Reddit Ask Me Anything on some of these prison issues.
Nice.
As you guys know, over the past couple of weeks, we've been trotting at a couple things. We found a couple different parole related things, overtime in the prisons, just general conditions. We've been working with Henry Cordes over the World Herald, who found, I think last time I was here, we were talking about the incarceration rate for some parts of North Omaha is something stupid, 20% or something like that.
Right.
Yep.
We're all going to be on there, and we're just going to talk about what we've learned, what's coming next, what's up with this prison stuff in general in Nebraska. This should be one of our missions in starting, was to make this the issue that it should be. We have the most overcrowded prisons in the entire nation.
Yep.
We need to talk about what's going on here. And so we're going to be on there. If people have questions, if they just want to weigh in, talk about what they see going on, tell us some stories that we should look into. We're planning on that either Wednesday or Thursday. You can check the Omaha subreddit and figure out what's going on there.
Sounds good, man.
All right.
We'll have to talk to you about Reddit and how much play you guys are getting over there. That's the place we haven't ventured yet, so we'll have to talk about it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Right on, man. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, guys. It's always a pleasure to be here. Love what you guys are doing, and happy to be a part.
Man, thanks. Again, Star Trek Rich has dropped the link, flatwaterfreepress.org, in the chat. Make sure you check them out. They're doing the good work, as you see.
Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Have a
right
good
on,
one.
brother. Have a good one. Peace. All right, there it is. I love it. We'll take a quick break. Once again, it's 8:48. If you believe in the concept of time, if you have to be somewhere at 9 o'clock, you got about 12 minutes. So just to let you guys know that. We'll take a quick break and come right back. Once again, you're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
Morning.
B.
Just keep going. They're going to get it. Just keep
Paul
going.
B. Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich. We'll be right back. Let's get funky with it. Stay tuned. Yes. Because I'm cool. Ladies and gentlemen, First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich. It's going down. There was something in the headline that I failed to ask and mention. Heard a rumor. There's going to be a ribbon cutting today at the Carver Bank building. Anybody know anything about that? Because we don't. Just heard word on the street. Just word on the street. There's something going down. We don't even know what the ribbon cutting is for. Is there a new thing happening in Carver Bank? Manny, about town, you in the chat still? You know about it? What's going on? Somebody
Anybody
let us know.
Anybody?
Anybody know? We need to know. Let us know. What's going on there? Oh, Rome said up to 87. We need 100 people in the YouTube world. So thank you very much. Rome's reviews. Mayor Sanchez has been single-handedly raising our levels there. So we appreciate you putting some time and some work in not single-handedly. There's other people that's been asking for it too. We need to get our numbers up over there at YouTube to play the algorithm game over there. Once again, like you said, we're at 87, had one new subscriber as we speak. Appreciate that very much so. Yeah, man, we really appreciate you and everybody who has chimed in and become a what did they say? Follow, like, and subscribe over there at YouTube.
Yep.
Appreciate that. And I appreciate all of you that have shared the show here on Facebook as well. Really, really, really need to just reach out to some more people, man. Get more people on here with that. That's what's up. Appreciate that very much. Also, before we get into the haps, we need to jump into the Starfleet Daily Meditation, which I almost forgot to do again.
Man.
Yeah. Buddy calls the Trekkie Words of Wisdom. Today is by Kira Nerys. Says, that's the thing about faith. If you don't have it, you can't understand it. And if you do, no explanation is necessary. It's interesting. It's an interesting one.
Okay.
I think there's a necessity in explaining your faith. But I understand the sentiment.
Well,
What do you think?
Well, your faith is your faith.
Yeah, so right. If you don't have it, you can't understand it. And if you do, no explanation is necessary. Okay.
Yeah, it's your faith. You don't necessarily need to explain it to anyone. I mean, if anyone wants to know, then I'm happy to share, tenets. But
maybe we can take it as you need to explain it to yourself first off.
That part, yeah. Hopefully, you have an explanation why you have faith in the faith.
Well, anyway, there you go. That's the Trekkie Words of Wisdom right there from Weberized.com. Star Trek Rich puts those up. We appreciate it. Appreciate him doing that. Go to Weberized.com if you have podcast ideas, because they're the ones that can make that happen. Brooke in the chat has a Star Trek related comment. She says, with all these Paramount Star Trek shows they are making, why haven't they made a Captain Worf series? It ain't right. I told you, the Klingons is the black people of Star Trek. I've been telling Brooke that for a minute.
It ain't right.
They're the Negroes of Star Trek. So we'll see. We'll see what's happening. TD Sanders says, yes, soft opening at Carver Bank at 10:30. Let us know. So what's soft opening of what? How come we haven't had any information on what is opening?
Yeah.
Have we just missed it?
Rome's Review said there was supposed to be an article on Channel 7, and I'm looking for I don't quite see. Trying to get a little more information. But I do have the website for the Carver Legacy Center, which is again the actual program or the joint venture that is located at the Carver Bank on the Deuce. It is a joint venture with American National Bank. So there is some information on the website. But again, what exactly is starting or, I'm not sure.
All right. Well, I wanted to put it out there in case anybody had any information on that. If you do have any information, you come across it, go ahead and throw it in the Friends of First Sky Omaha Facebook page so that we can see what's going down. And I will go ahead and put this article in, or this link here in the chat as well, if I can grab it real quick. Thank you, buddy, for that. There's a little information on the situation there. American Bank Carver Legacy Center. Is that what the ribbon cutting's about? Let us know. Let us know. Let us know. Those of you on the block out there, TD Sanders in the house. We'll have to have her on again soon. This Wednesday we'll be politicking with P. Just to remind you guys. Also, soapboxing with Michelle Troxclair, who is now the new executive director over at the Benson Theatre. So it is now official. It was official as of a couple of days ago, and we couldn't wait to be able to let you know what was going on there. So congratulations to Michelle Troxclair.
Yeah,
congratulations to us. That means she's staying in town.
Squad.
So it's going to be about the soapbox moment on Wednesday, and also we'll be politicking with P on Wednesday as well. Friday we have special guest Abelardo's coming through.
Oh yeah,
so he's gonna come through and talk to us about how he franchised his situation all around Omaha so quickly, and maybe we can glean some wisdom from him and expand that to some of these other spots. Man, I'd like to see a few itises around for real.
Bossing up on Friday. It's gonna be some boss talk on Friday.
That's what's up. TD Sanders says there's an advertised in current Omaha Star. So get your Omaha Star newspaper. Definitely go to the Omaha Star website. I think they're 3.0 over there now with the Star. So go over there and check that out. And I see what they got going on at the Carver Bank Building today. Let us know.
And that's why we need to have Miss TD on, man. We need to tap more in what's going on at the Omaha Star and represent a little harder. So look out for that invite.
Yep. Love to have that. Wanda Lewis says Dave Ponto's fundraiser event tomorrow, 5:00 at Brews 50th in Underwood.
Okay, well, might as well just officially dive into the haps if that's how y'all doing it. Might as well do it right if we're gonna do it.
Hey, they're like, hey, you guys is dragging on the haps. All right, you already know what it is. Obviously, it's time for the haps. Let us know what's going on around town. We have a few haps to let you know about as well. Again, Wanda Lewis says Dave Ponto's fundraiser event tomorrow at 5:00 at Brews 50th in Underwood. Okay, 50th in Underwood. I don't think I've been over at Brews. Okay, check it out. That's what's up. Brother Valentine, who you talking about? Who horchata is on point? Brews. Let me know. You know I love a horchata.
Man, I don't know if you saw it. Also, Brother Muhammad says, backed by popular demand, world-class bean pie fundraiser. He put the phone number in there, 402-577-0638. Will tap in. So if you trying to bless yourself with some bean pies, go ahead and get you a bean pie, my brother.
And let me tell you, the Brother Muhammad's bean pie is the best I ever had.
Man,
the flake on the crust is legendary. Got to get down with them. And I was going to suggest that. It was funny when I was thinking about your fundraiser for your running for school board, which everybody knows Brother Muhammad is running for a chair on the school board. I was like, what you need to do, go ahead and sell some of them bean pies. I don't know if that's the proper thing to do, but can you raise funds that way? It sounds like you can. So definitely hook it up. Get with them. That's what's up. Really appreciate that. Dave's is at Blue Line. What's going on at Blue Line? Oh, Blue Line. Okay. Dave Ponto's at Blue Line. Dave's in the house too. What's happening, man?
Oh yeah, the fundraiser event.
The fundraiser event. So the Blue Line, not Brews. Okay, so 50th and Underwood at the Blue Line. I know. Okay, now that makes sense. That's the coffee shop over there in Dundee. Okay. So yeah, definitely go check him out at Blue Line. That's what's up. Thank you, Ali Peeler, for saying that as well. And Omar Valentine says Arbolado's got I was gonna say Arbolado's got that bomb horchata for sure.
Okay.
So, get your horchata, man. And let us know the people who went and got some of them Indian tacos. Tell us how on point they were. We'd like to know.
Man, got a few minutes before we get out of here. There's an open coffee event with Rachel D. Fox. That's posted on the Friends of page. That's going down Wednesday, April 6th at 11 a.m. Created by Open Coffee Omaha. It looks like it's a conversation and a networking event. And also, again, there will be keynote speaker Rachel Fox. So it looks like a business and entrepreneur type of workshop. So
powered by You Go Girl. That's love them.
Again, an entrepreneur, professional, CEOs, and organizations of all sizes. So yeah, definitely check that out. Big shout out to You Go Girl and Open Coffee. Also, big shout out to Brianna Full for OPS. She is again one of the chat chimers and also one of our candidates for I believe District 2 for OPS board. She will have a team canvassing event. That's Saturday, April 9th at 1 p.m. So this upcoming Saturday at 1 p.m. If you want to get out and knock some doors and support Brianna Fool's campaign, you can do so. Again, that's this Saturday at 1 p.m. And then also before, last but not least, Choir Boy. Big shout out to Choir Boy. That goes down April 7th. Kicks off again April 7th through the 16th. The first showing is 8:30 on April 7th. And let Paul tell it, man, it's going to be a doozy.
Yeah, that's this Thursday. Go ahead and get your tickets. It's definitely going to sell out. And the Benson Theatre only holds about 160 people, so that's why they've got multiple days going. It's a straight up play run, and you got multiple days. You can go check it out. But it's going to definitely go down on opening night. And definitely go down this weekend. So get your tickets for that. Choir Boy by Terrell Alvin McCraney, who wrote Moonlight. Yeah, I don't know if you saw that movie Moonlight. So he's the writer, and it's directed by Nick Wickham, who is Omaha legend.
Man,
He's got a super talented cat, and a bunch of super talented cats from Omaha. Man, it's going to be powerful. You need to definitely check it out. Please get your tickets for that. Really appreciate it. One more thing, don't forget about this situation here. There's a call to action. The Pizza Ranch deal. It's kind of a messed up situation here, but that's supposed to happen
today
at
11:30.
You can call Pizza Ranch. You can ask to speak to their management and demand they don't host this racist event. You can show up at Pizza Ranch, which is 310 South 84th Street, and protest the event. But Don Klein has put up a flyer here. He's not letting this go. How does self-defense, Jake Gardner grand jury become manslaughter? It was manslaughter. He couldn't just let it go. He's got to run. He's running for his office, his chair again, and he's just poor taste, just bad stuff going on. So
I actually did some research on this. It's the River City Republicans is the organization hosting this, and then they're the ones who invited Don Klein. And apparently, this is a series of speaks or meetings that they're having. But yeah, this is definitely
at the Pizza
something
Ranch.
that you should look into.
So Justice for James Scurlock is the organization that has called to action. A couple things you can do. You can call Pizza Ranch, or you can go and protest. So if you want more information on that, it's on the Friends of First Sky Omaha page. Check it out, or go to Justice for James, the Justice for James Scurlock Omaha Foundation there. So lots going on there, and we had to bring it up because it is happening today. So that is one that we need to keep our eye on, and if you can be there, cool. We can do something about it. That'd be a thing. 9:02, and of course we got more haps, but we'll have to leave those for Wednesday. Once again, it's going to be Women Wednesday on First Omaha.
Women.
Politicking with P on Wednesday, and also Michelle Troxclair and her soapbox moment. Again, congratulations to her for becoming ED over at the Benson Theatre squad. Yes. Like Augie Kidd said, appreciate you. Yeah, man, that's what's up. Let's go ahead and get out of here since we're running late again already.
Yeah,
but you got some words for the people?
I mean, let the people tell they have us here all day. So we appreciate y'all for hanging with us for these 2 hours. Again, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Catch the same time, same place. If you believe in the concept of time, that is. But again, we thank you. We love you. We appreciate you, all the first time and last time listeners, all the chat chimers, all the ghost listeners, everybody involved. We definitely thank you. Also, big shout out again to Matt Wynn and Chris Bowling from the Flatwater Free Press and the Reader, respectively, for taking the time out of their morning to come and give us a scoop on some things and have a quick conversation with us. So again, we appreciate them and appreciate you. And with that, Paul B, take it away.
Man, Rose Review says tacos was good, pudding was good, the tea was all good. I'm so mad that I missed the Indian tacos. I'm upset about that. Whew. That's rough. Let's see here. Let's go. Let's see. Brooke says, man, loving all the pics you guys are incorporating in the show. Oh, thanks. Yeah, we're trying to make it happen. Let's see. who else is going on? Let's see. Pop says, awesome show as usual. I love it. I see you all on Women's Wednesday. Now I'm craving Brother Muhammad's bean pie for real. Real. It's real. It's real. It's the real deal.
I can taste it.
Leg He just says, solid show as always. Great info, great guests. Thank you so much for all you do. Thank you. Rick says, great show. Melvin Muhammad says, take care, family, be safe. And Margot Juarez says, another good show. Thank you for everybody that's joining. Yeah, really appreciate it. Really appreciate all of you. You guys are the ones that make the show great. So thank you so much.
Yeah.
Shout out to Omaha Tribe elders for allowing us to be on this land and speak while we're here. We want to thank all of our elders for allowing us to speak before them. We want to thank all of you, the chat chimers who make this show possible, and all of you, the reoccurring members and sponsors of the channel that also make this thing keep going. So if you have not become one, please consider doing so. Go to firstsky.omaha.com, hit the donate button, and really appreciate it. Also give a shout out to Star Trek Rich and the Weberized family for allowing us to broadcast live here in the Weberized studios. Go to weberized.com if you have podcast ideas. Shout out to Buddi in his studio. Shout out to his family that's always trying to keep it cool so Daddy can do his thing in the studio. Appreciate you straight from Atlanta, Georgia. And yeah, man, that's what's up. I appreciate it. So thank you so much for everybody who's joined us, and we will see you for Women's Wednesday on First Sky Omaha. This coming up. It's going down. All right, that's it. You guys have a great day. Stay cool. I hope that was a good start to your week.
Peace.
Start to mine for sure. Peace.
By the way, Vanglorious. This is protected by the red, the black, and the green. At the crossroad, with the key.
By any means necessary.
By the people, for the people.